Hello, Menagerie. I'm your host, Mezentius, and welcome back to the Last Door Collector's Edition, where this time we are going off into the extras. Because those haven't been explored yet. The Morgue, we're starting with. Figuring this is going to have to do with Beechworth. Here, I have the police and medical report. The latter is still blank. According to the police, the deceased's name is Father Ernest Glynn. The man immolated himself. Well, that was completely wrong from what I thought. Oh shit, we're going to have to do surgery. There must be something wrong with the water pressure valve. This is word. An anatomical model built of actual human bones. That's not creepy at all. We will see if the police report is right. Good lord, what a mess. The skin is all scorched. Cause of death is probably shock, caused by the sudden burns. A horrible way of passing. What could lead a man of God to commit such an act? All that remains is to file the medical report, so he can receive the proper treatment of a fine gentleman deserves. Meh. Nothing else to do here, I should file the medical report. This case still puzzles me. If he wanted to commit suicide, why did he do it in such a painful manner? Was he drugged or intoxicated? I should check his stomach for signs of poisoning. That's not a good sound. Alright, the stomach looks fine on the outside. Now I should cut it open to check its contents. What is this? There's something strange in here. It looks like a piece of paper? I need something to keep the stomach open while I extract that thing. It is a note. A crumpled note with 4 names, one of them crossed out. I think I should inform the inspector immediately. Ernest Glynn, Jeremiah Devitt, Alexandra D., Hugo Ashdoom? I don't think I met him, so he's the 4th? Francis Baldwin. After being certified of your guilt by a peer jury, we find you guilty of the wicked and violent murders of 14 innocent and sick people. Because of this sentence, I am hereby authorized to execute you at this very moment by hanging to death in the sight of God. Would you like to make a final statement before we proceed? Why will you say that I'm not mad? You should have seen how merciful I proceeded, with what love. I saved them. I released them. Now they are in a better place. Do you still believe I am mad? Well, That was the death sentence. Wanderer in the fog. She is the only survivor. What happened to the others? They are all dead. I would like to talk to her. She has spoken only nonsense since she woke up. A number of remedies in china and glass jars. There's no doubt this is a Catholic monastery. Miss Parnell is staring meditatively at the small plant. Good afternoon. My name is Johann Kaufman. I'm a doctor. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions? Please be careful with what you ask. Miss Parnell's state is delicate. I am perfectly fine and able to talk, sister. Things for your consideration. Now, doctor, I understand you want me to repeat my story? I would be thankful to hear it indeed. I'll stay outside if you need me. I am a sane woman, doctor, in complete control of my mind and reason. You do not dare to question it. I certainly wouldn't. Then I will commence. I woke up in the dark. The room was small, so narrow that I could touch the wooden walls just by raising my elbows. Could you recognize the place? I couldn't tell at first. For a moment, a most dreadful thought crossed my mind. What if I had been buried alive? When I got out, I found myself in my parents' house. I hadn't been there since they sent me to school. Did you see anyone there? Your parents, or maybe someone you know? No, they were not in the house, nor was any servant I had known in the years of my childhood. I was alone. I could feel the humid air on my skin and could smell the scent of the long time abandoned. I walked the rooms unsettled by the silence. The place had the bleak feel of ruin. Then I saw someone. In the opposite end of the corridor, an old woman stared at me. Did you talk to her? I tried to, but she did not answer, and she walked away when I tried to get closer. I followed her out through the back alley and into the streets. I got lost in the burg of Abernethy. The streets were deserted, and a thick fog covered everything. I thought I had seen the old woman through the fog, once or twice, but they could have been just shadows. Didn't you see anyone? So the city was empty? No, not completely. I met some people. Vagabonds. One of them was a priest. I remember a novelist and a boy too. The priest? Where did you meet him? I met him in a stable. Good Lord, he sent mass there. Among the beasts. Could you imagine the profanity? Tell me more about the novelist. The woman had never written a word. She created only in her mind, you know. She could tell the stories sentence by sentence with perfect precision, and I could even hear a piece of her last work. What was the piece? Do you remember anything about the novelist's work? Yes, the piece she told me was something like, the shadows of the past soon melted within the land that loves silence. Through the fog they walked, found themselves lost. Hoping for a sign from their gods, they set camp on the beach, where 30 birds awaited to meet their crowned. So the boy, what about him? I came across an abandoned carriage. The horse was long dead, its bones still harnessed to the cart. There was a young man petting the carcass of the animal. Could you talk to this young man? He was deaf, but I think he could read my lips. When he spoke, he did with a clear accent. He said he could only listen to the songs of the departed. What happened then? As I walked, the fog got denser. I could barely see anything around. I finally met the old woman. She didn't say a thing, but gave me a cardboard card. Then she left. She gave you a playing card? It was one of those used to tell fortune. There was a drawing on it of a veiled person holding a lamp. Then the mist seemed to clear out, and I could see. What could you see? A barren land, bathed by roaring waves. There was thousands of birds. And then I realized there was something else. What was it? It was there and looked at me. The burning dark inside, the shaking, the scream, that vision that I cannot understand. What is it, Doctor? Have I finally lost my strength of mind? I believe you. I am sure that what you lived was real, but I am afraid that I currently lack any proof that can confirm your account. I am sorry. I shall leave. Thank you for your time. Wait, Doctor. I have something else to say. When I first woke up here, there was something beside me. Would this be enough proof? It looks like a tarot card. And Beechworth's wake. He does not look dead, but just asleep. I barely knew him, busy as he was traveling the world. What would be of a man with no aspiration for the other, side to inspire or lead him? I knew it would come to this. Your father was a terrible mess of a man. I am only grateful that he brought you to our home. Soon enough, not long after you were born, I will no doubt that you will learn from his bad example and grow up to be a righteous gentleman. What could be there? What could there be greater than the efforts of mortals to rise from their miserable condition? Why did he do this? We will speak later, young man. We're busy. This is so sad. He was most dearest to me. You know, your father was a complicated man. He had a strong character and was stubborn as a mule when he had taken a determination. He believed he had a mission in this world, though I'm not sure he knew exactly what it was. That which avoids description, the unknown, provides men with a reason to exist. This is an obscure domain, its secrets taken by man from the silence of nature and death. You are the young Beechworth, is that right? Your father left you everything, Anthony, the house, his accounts, and all his belongings for you to receive when you came of age. He was very specific in his testament, though, that you should receive this promptly, his personal book log. These are the memoirs of my life, my research and knowledge of the other side. Use them wisely, son. And that is the extras. And the next video, Menagerie, we will officially begin Chapter 2, or Season 2, of The Last Door. Until then, ciao ciao.